I hope the airport security will let me leave with us tomorrow. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this very generous token of your appreciation for what the men and women of the United States Army have been doing, standing shoulder to shoulder with our Polish allies these past few years. I'm very proud to accept it on their behalf. Thank you. The commitment of the United States to Poland is ironclad and never-ending. The evidence of this can be seen in the steadily increasing U.S. military capabilities that are deployed forward into Poland. Today, there are thousands of American soldiers, sailors, and airmen who are serving in Poland in every facet of military capability. The Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group in Orzic, the division headquarters in Poznan, the logistics hub in Powice, the Aegis Ashore Missile Defense System in Redzikowo, the Air Force Detachment in Lask, Poznan, and the Rotational Armor Brigade Combat Team, which is based in Western Poland, are all manifestations of this commitment. But military deployments and presence are not the only examples. Equally important are the steadily increasing number of commercial ventures and connections between American and Polish business. And I'm proud to say that the organization to which I now belong, the Center for European Policy Analysis, has its overseas office here in Warsaw, just across the street from the Polish Memorial to all of your fallen soldiers. I've loved your country since my first visit to Warsaw more than 5 years ago, when I saw the memorial for the first time. I was walking back from dinner in the old part of the city, back to my hotel, and was approaching the large square where this memorial stands. It was close to midnight. Freezing cold, snowing. My Polish deputy and I were among only a few people out walking that cold night. And then I was startled when a door opened up and 3 Polish soldiers came out in their dress uniform with their rifles. I quickly realized it was time for the changing of the guard at the memorial. They began to march towards the memorial, perfectly dressed and aligned and professional, marching as if every general in the Polish army was there to observe, as if there were thousands of people watching. Yet there was nobody there to see it. Still, they performed their duty flawlessly. It was an image of Polish armed forces I've never forgotten. The historical relationship between Poland and the United States goes back more than 240 years to when Kazimierz Pulaski and Tadeusz Kościuszko came to America to assist us in the American Revolution and our fight for independence. My home office at SIPA in Washington, D.C. is immediately adjacent to the monument to Kazimierz Pulaski on Pennsylvania Avenue between the White House and the Capitol. In April, I will go to West Point to participate in the annual Kościuszko commemoration and symposium, where the monument to Kościuszko stands overlooking the Hudson River, and which inspires cadets each year when they come at night to spin the spurs on his statue for good luck on their exams. This relationship is as important for the United States as it is for Poland. Poland, as a top-tier member of NATO, can be our anchor in Europe if you stay connected to the West in all things: security, business, and protection of our liberal democratic institutions. Poland can help anchor the United States in Europe in a strong way. Let me describe some things that Poland can do to make this an enduring reality. Your geographic location is critical to stability and security in Europe. Effective deterrence against potential aggression by the leadership of the Russian Federation depends on strong, modernized Polish armed forces on land, sea, and in the air that are well integrated into NATO's command structures and with your neighbors, especially Lithuania and Germany, and in the wider Baltic region. The Multinational Corps Northeast, based in Szczecin, and Multinational Division North in Elbląg are both examples of this integration and of Polish leadership. That is a significant step forward, but it's not enough. The alliance needs increased integration of maritime activities between Poland and other allies in the Baltic region. I just attended the opening ceremony of the new German Navy headquarters in Rostock, which will become a multinational maritime headquarters focused on the Baltic region. There were naval officers from nearly every nation in the Baltic region. I hope that Poland will join this headquarters. Poland is a critical maritime power that will benefit from close cooperation with German, Swedish, Denmark, and other countries in the region and help NATO to counter Russian aggression on NATO's northern flank. East-west and north-south transportation networks that can deploy and sustain NATO formations are essential to effective deterrence. Improved military mobility is critical to enable movement of NATO forces more quickly than Russian Federation forces can move. Poland is taking strong steps in this critical area. Development of the new Solidarity Transportation Hub between Warsaw and Łódź will be a significant improvement in this, especially if it is well connected to planned networks within the 3 Cs initiative, such as the Trans-Carpathian Highway, the Rail Baltica project, and as part of the European Union's 2 projects to establish logistics hubs and to improve military mobility. I'm very pleased with the progress I've seen in cooperation between Polish and Lithuanian military leaders and staffs, particularly in the area of the Suwałki corridor. A recent exercise with Polish forces crossing the border into Lithuania to practice linking up with Lithuanian allies is a remarkable example. This cooperation, along with German and American troops on the ground, is the only way to successfully protect this corridor that links our 3 Baltic state allies with the rest of NATO. It's essential to deterrence. Poland can be a very important leader and an anchor for the United States and Europe if it is able to help stabilize the situation with 2 other neighbors, Ukraine and Belarus. If Belarus is able to increase its sense of self-reliance and sovereignty and continue to resist Russian efforts to station Russian forces in Belarus, then we can have more confidence in the security of Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia. I'm not talking about something that would look as if we were trying to drive a wedge between Belarus and Russia, but through investment and outreach by Polish business, you can help reduce their total economic dependence on Russia. I was in Belarus in November and had the privilege to meet President Lukashenko as well as their foreign minister and defense minister. I am not naive about the challenges here, but I see opportunity that is based on business investment. The Chinese are surely there in growing numbers and will fill the void if the West fails to react. An increased Chinese presence in Central and Eastern Europe is not necessarily what we want, as you know from the recent incident here involving Huawei. Similarly, our Ukrainian friends are under immense pressure from the Kremlin. The recent attack on Ukrainian naval vessels outside the Kerch Strait and the seizure of those 3 ships and 24 Ukrainian sailors was an outrageous violation of international law and of their own agreements with Ukraine. If the West does not hold Russia accountable on this, then de facto, we have recognized Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. And then I believe that Odessa will be next on the menu. Poland can help Ukraine with continued military, political, and more economic support through investment. For sure, Ukraine must rid itself of corruption and ensure more transparency in all aspects of society and government and business if Polish businesses are to be confident in investments there. But helping to build up resilience in Ukrainian society through increased economic opportunity will help them resist Russian disinformation. I firmly believe that it was the example of Poland's dramatic improvements in democracy and quality of life that inspired the Maidan events. Ukraine saw what was happening in Poland, and they wanted the same thing. I hope that Poland will continue to encourage, inspire, and support Ukraine. Finally, my friends, I want to acknowledge the tragic death of Mr. Paweł Adamowicz, the mayor of Gdansk, who was brutally attacked in front of a large public audience at a charity event. The assailant, the murderer, clearly has mental issues. But this sad incident has highlighted the very acidic nature of much of the hate speech so prevalent on social media in Poland and sadly in my own country as well. Democratic societies are based on trust and confidence and shared values that are strong enough to allow disagreement, to allow dissent, even angry dissent. But the tone of public discourse in the media and on social platforms has become so harsh that it leads to polarization of our societies, of our alliance, and of the European Union. The principal objective of President Putin is the disarray and dissolution of NATO and the European Union. He pours money and effort into achieving these objectives. Polarization is Putin's friend. Ladies and gentlemen, if we and our future generations are to enjoy the benefits of our hard-won independence, we must work harder to prevent this polarization and to preserve our liberal democratic institutions and the rule of law and the shared common values that bind us. Those ideals which inspired brave Polish men and women to fight fascism on all fronts during World War II and to resist the yoke of communism for so long. Za nasza I wasza wolność. Thank you.
Szanowni Państwo, bardzo dziękujemy wszystkim uczestnikom